It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 2023 fall edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and sometimes co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, the CEOs, the CFOs, the entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why, in heck's name, do they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future, which is always an interesting conversation. You're going to hear about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. Happy weekend to Steve Roberts. How are you there, Steve?
Happy weekend, Tom. There's some good news on the horizon.
Okay, you tell me what that good news is, and I'll drink my coffee.
Hang on, I got to find my notes.
If you got to look at notes, it can't be that
there
great
must
news.
be something here somewhere.
You got to look at the
well,
notes.
So I had a friend of mine who's going to introduce you shortly. Send me a picture of all these fish they're catching at the end of the lake. Okay, just to kind of go. I've caught not a walleye yet, but
on Oneida Lake or at the end of the lake. Okay, right.
The thing is, it's like a 45-minute drive. It's at night. I'm old. I become my father. It's
only
dark.
20
I don't
minutes
want to
for me.
drive at night. It's shiny. So I become that guy. Yes. So, but they are. I will next week. I will give a walleye report. I will have walleye in the freezer by next week.
No perch down there.
Just walleye. Really walleye. Okay. And any listeners, if I don't, certainly feel free to donate some to the show.
Sure.
We'll cook it up. We'll have it right here. It's wonderful.
Very nice. Well, I got stories too. You know, just so you know.
Yeah.
I do. Joe Scripa is going to join us. He's going to be the first guest up. And as long as he's here, I wanted to let him know.
So tell him what Joe Scripa is. At least
Joe Scripa is the Scripa Group. Yeah, but I'm going to go into detail about that.
All right.
Yeah, but Joe and I live around the block from each other. So coming out of our street, there's only one exit point. And I was going to lunch the other day. And
you never skip lunch.
I don't want to skip lunch. Well, Sparrows, just so everybody knows, has the tomato bisque soup now. So
tell it to Dr. Barry. Go ahead.
Right. So I was going over for my tomato bisque soup. So there was a Grubhub driver that had come down South Bay Road and pulled over to the side of the road right at the stop sign. So I waited till all the traffic was clear, didn't realize that he had pulled over.
Oh my goodness.
So when I turned my head back to the right, I started to go. I smashed right into the back of his vehicle because he had his butt end over the exit of our street.
Yeah, it's still your fault, Tom.
Yeah, and it was still my fault.
Just saying.
Although I have to say, Geico has done a great job, and unfortunately, my truck will be laid up for a little while. It cracked my bumper and everything, and it wasn't fun. It was the first accident I've been in 30 years, and I'm like, what the heck? I feel like Steve.
That is no fun, and you just ran out for a minute, and it turned into an hour.
Yes.
So interruptive.
It's crazy.
And what happens then is you I don't know about you, but then you feel like a loser because you did it. And you get into I shouldn't. You kind of beat yourself up.
Well, I didn't have to beat myself up. My wife did it for me.
Oh, very good.
That's
good.
Nice
That's what you get when you marry the Irish.
So we got a great show. We're going to talk with Joe Scripa. He's going to be up first from the Scripa Group. And then Erica Lubner. She is the owner of Tim's Pumpkin Patch. We'll learn all about what they do over there. Andrew Naylor is the manager of the Good Feet store, which is going to be interesting because you have bad feet.
I was going to say,
so maybe they can help you. Yeah. John Kupperman stops by, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Jim Deakins, owner of Crossroads Auction. And then Jacob Eichten. He's the office manager, and he does a little sales over there at Rubberstone, New York, instead of having Natasha. We're going to talk with John. So now we can talk about Natasha.
That's fun. Let's do it.
Which is kind of fun. Jake Hafner, owner of Hafner's Restaurant. I think you and I met over there for Mother's Day.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. And then the Bikas Regmi is the owner of Family Nurse Practitioner at Caring Family Health Nurse Practitioners.
That's a mouthful, Tom.
Yes, yeah. We got to talk about him shortening the name, or him or her. I don't know.
It's a him.
Okay,
he's a very nice man.
Okay, if you say so.
Not like
some people. Okay. Joe Scripa, owner of Scripa Group, a professional in the area of real estate, both commercial and residential. How are you?
I'm great, Tom.
Very good.
And
be careful.
Your story was,
So be careful.
Yeah, that can really set a day in a different direction.
He should have. It was a super, super nice guy. But he was looking for an address, and he just kind of hung there, not good.
Yep.
Well, Tom drives a tank, so it goes over anything in its way. so he just like track marks on the top of it.
Nuts. So what's going on? I know that during the week there was another meeting, and I don't know what they call these things. There was a meeting down at the Most about what to do with millions of dollars as it relates.
I don't know what that meeting was, but I did have an opportunity to listen to Ryan McMahon about where we are with the whole
project. Okay,
yeah, and I'll tell you, brace yourself.
Really, it's going.
And this is a good market to sell into. Everybody, we're hearing all this national news and the slowdowns, and I'm not saying it hasn't slowed down here or interest rates aren't up, but if you live in Syracuse and you want to get the most for your property, do it now. Yeah. Because I'm behind a lot of the new development, and I have a lot of colleagues, of course, as well. Sure. Right. That are behind a lot of new development. When all these new developments come online, it's going to compress the pricing. Right. Supply and demand. So the minute we have a new development with 150 homes right down the road from us, guess what happens to our pricing? It goes down a little bit.
What do you say about people go, I don't think that's going to happen. That's a head fake. I don't think it's coming. Are there still people that...
I would look at them the way I'm looking at you right now.
Fondly?
With a blank stare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's coming.
Yeah, because it's happening. It's happening. It's here. And it isn't even just the Micron effect right now. It's simply we have no supply of homes for people to buy. When you have no supply and you have still remaining demand, prices go up. Now, that isn't bad for a buyer, because when the Micron thing really engages, and one thing that Ryan McMahon said is what we're going to learn very soon, is how much money is actually going to be awarded to Micron. Right. And once that's determined, what's going to happen is we're going to know when plant 2 or phase 2 will be.
Right. I see.
So if they get enough money, they're going to say phase 2 is going to be done right behind phase 1. If that happens, we're zooming.
So you're talking to people that are in maybe Oswego County and Northern Onondaga that have property, or, should I sell now? Should I, those kinds of things.
Northern Onondaga County, is definitely, we've come up, Cicero and Clay is the new Fayetteville and Manlius. Okay. No doubt. I mean, we have newer homes, we have nicer homes, we have square footage. If they're lower square footage and they're newer, they're nicer, very modern. We've got some great local builders up in our area. JMG Homes, who's been around forever. Yes. Right? Still continues to outperform and build a beautiful product.
What about the commercial space? What about the commercial?
No, the commercial development. Steve, we talk frequently, and we've got a lot of commercial developments coming out of the ground, and we have new stuff. We have a little business incubator in Lakeland right now, which is I hate to say it, with any food business or anything like that, it's great. But we're getting a lot of inquiries from the cannabis people. And you know what? It's a business. It's going to be out there, and people need those spaces.
And then related story, they're going to be making Doritos in the building, too, at their time right now.
Sure, that's right.
Unrelated.
Yeah, munchies. You got to have that.
So Scripa Group, talk to Joe Scripa, 452-1200 is the office number, right?
That is it.
Yeah, and they can at least have a conversation with you.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Joe, for being here. We appreciate that. Coming up next, Erica Lubner is going to talk about her pumpkin patch. It's called Tim's Pumpkin Patch, and that's next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.